Between humanity and our extinction, there are 20 centimeters of topsoil. Topsoil that is fundamental to produce pretty much all the food that we consume. On the other hand, in Africa, between a rural kid and hunger, there is only one bad crop that can be caused by a seed that didn't germinate, by too much rain or too little rain, by a pest that was not predicted, or simply by a storeroom that burned down or had a leakage and the water and the rains spoiled the entire harvest. Anyways, there are many things that can go wrong and do actually go wrong. So in Africa, over 500 million smallholder farmers juggle between these two realities. And in Tomabom, in southern Sierra Leone, where I'm based, at the beginning of the season, Fati, who is a household head and a farmer, and her 5 kids stand at the edge of their farm. And in front of them, they have 2 football fields that are covered by grasses that are over 6 feet high. And they need to have them clear before the planting starts. So at this point, Fati has basically 2 options. She and her 5 kids can pick up the cutler, spend the next 30 days working sun to sun to cut those grasses down, or they could simply burn them down in a couple of hours. And unsurprisingly, the skies of many African countries are covered by the smoke of burning fields. But this is not it. Once the land is clear, they need to spend another 30 or 40 days hoeing the land with their hands, preparing for planting. And why is this a problem? The burning results in CO2 emissions, but the hoeing exposes the soils to rain and to erosion, especially in tropical areas where rains are super concentrated, they are monsonical. If the soils are uncovered, if they are plowed or hoed or naked, as we call them, if there is a strong rain, you would see a river of mud or topsoil washing off the farmer's farm year after year after year, accelerating erosion. And it's simple. Fati cannot produce any food if her topsoil is not in her farm anymore. But this can change. Farmers can be drivers of economic growth, of job creation, of employment, of rural wealth, but above everything, they can be the guardians of humanity's most precious resource, our soils. The science, the technology, the practices are out there. And it cannot be that in 2020, smallholder farmers depend on fire and hand hoes to produce the food that we consume. And different organizations can play a key role in driving adoption of better agricultural practices. For example, we are a social enterprise based out of Sierra Leone and Ghana, working with over 1,000 smallholder farmers, and we seek to stack the decks for them by designing a bundle of regenerative agricultural inputs, such as seeds and fertilizer, that we supply as a service to them. So let's go back to Fati for a minute. Fati usually plants rice every single year, year after year. And if she's lucky, she buys some cheap and unreliable agrochemical. This isn't very different from an industrial farming from an environmental perspective. And Fati depends on that small farm to feed her family for the entire year. So the bundle is focused on supporting Fati improve the health of her soils by helping her move away from fire to clear the land, and by introducing a crop rotation so that she can move away from a monoculture. All this enables Fati to increase incomes over 10 times, enabling her or incentivizing her for fast adoption and to improve her livelihoods in the process. So how does this work? First of all, the bundle focuses on identifying a sustainable crop rotation. So in Fati's case, this is rice and soybean. So now she farms rice in spring and soybean in autumn. Then the bundle includes all the inputs and the training that Fati needs to increase her production by 3 or 4 times. And we guarantee her that we would purchase pretty much everything that she wants to sell. Then the bundle includes mechanization services. So instead of Fati and her kids spending 30 days hand hoeing their fields, a no-till planter does this job in a couple of hours, freeing up invaluable time so that Fati can do other things to generate additional streams of income for her and her family. The no-till planting is all about minimizing the impact that we humans have on the soils when farming. so that the soils can increase its macrobiotic activity and it can minimize soil erosion. No-till planting coupled with other strategies such as continuous crop rotation or keeping the fields always covered with any type of crop helps the soils increase organic matter. And per 1% of organic matter increase in the soil, there are 10 tons of carbon that are stored in 1 acre of land. The 500 million smallholder farmers in Africa have the potential to store over 5 gigatons of carbon for centuries to come. They can mitigate climate change while producing the food that an ever-growing population needs, and they can emerge from being the bottom billion to becoming the world's climate heroes.